On behalf of the college and faculty, we want to welcome our graduates and their families and friends. Thank you all for coming, and welcome to Flathead Valley Community College's 2019 graduation ceremony. And now for the national anthem. Please be seated. Now it is my pleasure to introduce FVCC's president, Jane Carats.
As president, I am proud to welcome you to Flathead Valley Community College's 51st commencement. It is my honor to introduce to you the individuals seated on this stage. From your right to left, they are FVCC trustees, Chair Shannon Lund, Lyle Mitchell, Stephanie Wallace, Mark Holston, Kelly Stimson, Pete Akey, Chair of the Montana Board of Regents, Bob Nicetoon, Mr. Paul Wachholtz, and Vice President of Instruction and Student Services, Dr. Chris Klaus. Before we begin, please join me in a moment of silence for those men and women who have served and are serving our country overseas and across the U.S. Thank you. Tonight, more than 363 students will be receiving 384 degrees and certificates. The author, Ursula K. Le Guin, once said, "It is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end." While at FVCC, you began this journey to expand your horizons. Through your education, you gained experience and knowledge about the world. Yet none of us makes this journey alone. Many of you attended FVCC while juggling your family and work responsibilities, whether it was financial support from your family or a scholarship donor, assistance from a faculty member or tutor, time spent with a study group, someone to babysit while you took a class or studied for an exam, an employer who was willing to be flexible so you could attend classes, a shoulder to cry on, someone to buy you lunch or beer, or someone who always knew you would succeed. Your family and friends, and yes, even some strangers, have helped you reach your goal today. Tonight, I want to recognize our family, friends, and faculty who have inspired us to be more than we think we can be. I also want to acknowledge 2 faculty members who have supported many students over the years and who are retiring this year. Dave Dorsett from Surveying and Carla West from Business. Please help me recognize them for all of their contributions. Tonight we recognize and celebrate you, our graduates, and all of those who helped you succeed. So I'm going to ask everybody to just do a little exercise. I would ask all the graduates to please stand and be recognized. And then I would ask all the faculty and staff from FVCC to also stand and be recognized. And if you're a spouse or a significant other of the graduate, please stand and be recognized. Or a child or parent or other family member or friend of a graduate, please stand up. And ask our board to stand up because they also helped you get where you are. And anyone else in here who supported a graduate, give all of yourselves a round of applause because it's taken all of you to reach this evening tonight. So tonight, you, your families, and your friends should be proud of all of your achievements. This is your night to celebrate. Congratulations, and now you may be seated once again.
Next, I would like to introduce our student speaker. 2-year Student Government President Emily Baker decided to earn both her Associate of Science and Associate of Arts so she could prepare for her medical career while studying her other passion, music and theater. While at FVCC, Emily performed in several concerts, plays, and musicals, and she played the lead in the musicals Bye Bye Birdie and Man of La Mancha. Emily is transferring to Spokane to finish a degree in diagnostic sonography, after which she hopes to return to the Flathead Valley to continue to participate in the Valley's theater and arts scene. Please welcome Emily Baker.
First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the Flathead Valley Community College class of 2019. Despite all the late nights, papers, practicals, group projects, and all the finals, and maybe just a few tears, we've made it. And thank you to all the family and friends who are here today to support us as we successfully finish this chapter of our lives. So, fellow graduates, today is a day that we receive a piece of paper that states that we are now more knowledgeable than we were when we first came here. But we have to ask ourselves the question, how valuable is knowledge by itself? Rob Liano, a best-selling author and business coach, said, "Knowledge is power? No. Knowledge on its own is nothing, but the application of useful knowledge, now that is powerful." Each of us, whether we're going into the medical field, engineering, business, the arts, or any other field, has worked hard to gain knowledge here. And now, we all have the opportunity to use that knowledge to better ourselves, our families, our communities, and the world. Hopefully this graduation signifies just a stepping stone in our lifelong journeys of learning, whether we are transferring to a 4-year school or going straight into the workforce. But I think we should all be extremely grateful for the solid foundation this college has afforded us. I would like to say a huge thank you to all the professors and faculty. You are an extraordinary group of people, mentors, and educators that have impacted all of us in immeasurable ways. And to President Carats, throughout my time here, I've had the privilege to observe your leadership and love for the students in our entire community. It has had an obvious impact on this college and our valley. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for investing yourself in our lives. So give a quick thank you to her. And now I'd like to ask a little favor from all the graduates today. So if you have received any sort of scholarship or community support that has helped you get here today, whether it be a community member funded scholarship, or your friend that babysat your daughter so that you can go to class, or your boyfriend who helped you memorize terms and definitions, would you please raise your hand at this time? That's what I thought. So I think it's safe to say that we've all had many people in our lives that have helped us reach this goal of graduating from FVCC. And I have to say the amount of community support that this college has is truly staggering to ponder. So now what better way could we repay that love and generosity towards us than by using our knowledge and skills to help others and to give to others? That's what education is truly about. And that's what will keep the legacy of this community and this college going. Not just sitting back and congratulating ourselves for all that we've learned, well, we should definitely do that a little bit this weekend, but rather using this knowledge productively to improve ourselves and others. I'm so excited to see what all of you are going to continue to accomplish in your lives, and I wish you all the best as you go forward in this new chapter. Thank you all, and congratulations.
Thank you, Emily. Our faculty speaker was selected by the Faculty Senate. John Fraley has taught at FVCC as an adjunct since 1986. Beyond teaching, John had a successful 40-year career with the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. John is a prolific writer, publishing 13 peer-reviewed scientific papers, many magazine articles, and 3 books. John earned his bachelor's degree in wildlife biology at the University of Montana and his master's in fish and wildlife management from Montana State University. Please welcome John Fraley.
Well, thank you very much. You know, they always got to have at least one old guy to talk to you, right? So you've got me. So graduates, family, friends, faculty, and administration members, I am thankful for this great honor. It really is a great honor to represent the incredible FVCC faculty tonight. At first I was a bit intimidated, little old me representing the entire faculty, and I was kind of scared about it, but I thought, well, one of the things I would tell you would be to seize important opportunities, so I did, and I'm here tonight to talk to you. So first, as faculty members, we are very thankful to you for inspiring us. And I'm not just saying that, it's really true. Just feel the brain power in these rows of students. I mean, you can just feel it. I have ever since I started teaching here. Each of you has a story, and you've touched us forever. So you are our heroes, and we'll miss you. And we really will miss you, because you're going to be gone now. You're not coming back next year. So many of you are here tonight to receive a degree or a certificate. Please raise your hand if you're going to receive a degree or certificate. All right. That's a great accomplishment. And as parents, I know my 3 children, one of my big goals was to see my children receive a degree, and they all have. So you've made your parents very proud. That's good. That's great, actually. Please give yourselves a hand. So wherever your parents are, they're very proud right now. Give yourself a hand, students. And let this sink in a bit. You'd be surprised at how hard it is to get some students to come to this event tonight. So you need to realize that a degree or a certificate from a great institution like this is really important. It's actually part of your title now, and no one can take it away from you. Cherish it and savor your success. And as you go on in education and careers, I'd like you to keep 5 qualities in mind that might help you during good times and bad. And I've learned these kind of surviving in the bureaucracy for 40 years. So first of all, number 1 is humility. Being humble is key. Don't take yourself too seriously. To some like me, it comes easily because over the past 33 years and 1,000 students, I can probably count on one hand those that weren't more intelligent than I was, and more quicker on their feet, and so on. So people are drawn to those with humility, and people will love you for it. When I sense it in coworkers, those are the folks I want to work with. Those are the folks I want to be around. And I'll bet you know what I mean by that. So number 1, humility. Number 2, enthusiasm. Everyone wants to be around positive people, right? I mean, who wants to be around negative people? Enthusiasm inspires, and always look for the best in people, and you'll probably find it. An old Marine once told me there's only a foot between a pat on the back and a kick in the rear. So always try to find a pat on the back, a reason to pat someone on the back. And it's really true, I think of it all the time, because there's a lot of simple wisdom in that. Now number 3, so number 2 is enthusiasm. Number 3, collaboration. Work with others and seek others in your school and work projects. 2 minds are better than 1. And I'm going to put a couple of students on the spot here. Racer and Tyler, if you can stand up. Where are you? Okay. I want you to kind of stand aside right so everybody can see you. And this is a great example of how 2 minds are better than 1. Racer is an ecology genius. He's a genius. Tyler, no, you stand up the whole time. Tyler is a math genius. Now I look at these two and I think, Watson and Crick, the people to discover DNA. I think of Lennon and McCartney, I think of maybe Batman and Robin. And you can decide which one is which on that one. But these two collaborated to make an incredible result, and I'm going to tell you about here. Racer is in my ecology class in the fall, and he helped the class put together a food web or trophy design for a red-tailed riffle down here on campus on the Stillwater River. 49 different critters and how they all interacted. Did a great job on it. Tyler applied discrete mathematics to calculate that there were 34,000 different combinations of interactions between these 49 critters. Does that sound crazy or what? And discrete math, see, Tyler taught me what discrete math is. Discrete math means you just kind of get off in the corner and be really discreet when you're doing your math. That's about all I know about it. So they presented talks on their information they put together. It was incredible. They were at a STEM colloquium, and we're all sitting around, Ruth and math professors, and we're looking at each other going, wow, this is really complicated. This is incredible. And I kept asking questions, and Tyler kept saying, I don't know anything about ecology. And I'm thinking, well, he just traced 32,000 relationships between critters. I think he knows a lot more than he thinks he does. And so the rumor kind of got around, and I don't know if these guys helped the rumor or not, but that Fraley doesn't even understand his own students' work. So I kind of resent that, because I certainly do. And this chart they made, and oh, by the way, Racer and Tyler, which way is up on this thing? But no, seriously, I sent their work to a PhD aquatic ecologist in Alaska who's following food webs with isotopes of carbon and nitrogen, so doing it really the complex way. And here's what he said about their project. I really liked the red-tailed riffle food web map put together by the students. They did a great job. They identified the keystone species based on how many connections flowed through them. A great conceptual model and teaching tool, impressive for undergrad work. Let's give them a hand. Okay, you guys can sit down now. Thanks for being good sports. So the number 4 is self-belief. And don't be afraid to approach people that might seem too important at first, because you might be surprised. Now, Michael Kenworth isn't here tonight, but he was one of my students in my wildlife class a year ago. And we watched a movie on a Thursday class called Fortunate Wilderness, and it's about Lake Superior and about an island in Lake Superior and the wolf and moose interactions there. It's the longest running predator-prey study in the world. How many here have ever seen Lake Superior? Okay, a few of you. So, there's wolves and moose out there, and they've had this stance for the last 50 years when they got out on the island. So we watched this movie, and it had Rolf and Candy Peterson in it, and that was a Thursday. So Tuesday, back up to Tuesday, and Michael comes up to me and says, yeah, I had a really nice talk with Candy and Rolf this weekend. I said, what? I said, yeah, I looked up Michigan Technological University on the web and found their home phone number. And I gave him a call, and I talked to Candy for about a half hour. Rolf was out flying and counting wolves. And so the next day he called me, and I talked to him for about a half hour. So I don't know how he did it, but talk about self-belief. And then Michael's come by this year to tell us like a little update, because he's still talking to them. He actually told us a story about one of the wolves they tried to introduce was floating around on an iceberg. You didn't hear that in the news, It's like that little inside story. So that, great example of self-belief. So number 5, and the 5th point here is perseverance. And I've noticed to succeed at something, I have to persevere and focus all my energy on it. I think you do it more and more as you get older. And when I go all out at something, and when you do, you probably found it usually flourishes. Some people might think you're kind of narrowing yourself, and well, come on, you can do this, you don't have that much more to do, but I have to really focus on important tasks. And how many of you in here have ever heard of Dr. Seuss? Okay, it's about everybody, right? Imagine someone getting into the cultural fabric like that everybody heard about this person. And his first book, And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street, was rejected by more than 20 publishers. And he was ready to burn the manuscript before it finally was accepted by Vanguard Press. Imagine if he would have burned the manuscript and just given up. But he didn't, and he went on to sell 600 million children's books. So always persevere. And I have a student tonight that was in my wildlife class that I'd like to point out. That's Aaron Minnie. Aaron, if you could stand up, please. Aaron is we know all of you have a story, but these are some of the stories I'm focusing on tonight. So Aaron decided he was going to get his degree at this great institution, even though he lives in Libby. So he's been commuting from Libby to go to school here this year, and sometimes on a Friday afternoon, he would drive all the way up, take my noon class, and then drive 90 miles all the way back. Now that's dedication, and his family is here tonight to see him graduate, including his son Colton, who's 10, and Tegan, who's 8. And I'd ask them to stand up, they'd probably be too embarrassed to stand up. Now that's dedication, and let's give him a hand for that. So to sum it up, be humble, project humility, be an encourager, be enthusiastic, seek out collaboration, look what it can result in. Believe in yourself, and don't give up, persevere. You've worked really hard to get your degree, and no one can take it away from you. Over the next week, promise that you'll find a special time to do something nice for yourself, and savor that accomplishment. Don't let it slip by without taking the time to celebrate and commemorate that degree. It's so special for us to share this night with you. We really mean that. And you've made your family so proud. So good luck and go get them.
Thank you, John, for that great faculty speech and for recognizing some of our many outstanding students. It is my honor to introduce tonight's commencement speaker, Mr. Paul Wachholz. Paul understands the positive role of community colleges in shaping lives and the importance of partnerships between the institutions themselves and the communities they serve. Paul developed a successful lawn service in high school. This early success, along with other life lessons learned, helped shape him into a successful business owner. Paul began his pursuit of a college education at Northeastern Junior College in Sterling, Colorado, and went on to earn a bachelor's degree from the University of Northern Colorado and complete classes at the University of Colorado's Graduate School of Banking. For the past 12 years, Paul has helped develop FVCC's Festival of Flavors into a major fundraiser for scholarships, serving generously as the event sponsor. He also worked diligently to encourage other local businesses to join our partnership program. Paul has also helped to grow FVCC's reputation in Northwest Montana through his speaking appearances at fundraising events and his personal interactions with businesses from across a variety of industries. And this year, Paul took the major lead on fundraising for our future college center by donating $4 million to the project. His tireless efforts to assist FVCC and to help take our community college to the next level is incredibly inspiring. Paul sees the future college center as a place where students and the greater community come together as one for physical, cultural, and educational opportunities. And for those of you who don't know, following a career as a successful bodybuilder, Paul went on to be recognized for success in more than 4 decades of handball championship tournaments. He also was awarded our Eagle Award last night, and it is my great honor and privilege to welcome my friend and a mentor, Mr. Paul Wachholz. Please help me welcome Paul.
Thank you, Jane. You have a unique president. Whenever somebody wants me to explain what leadership is all about, I use usually without a doubt, I always mention Jane, because Vic Blotnick and Jane have been kind of the leaders of leadership here in the Flathead Valley. Honorable trustees and basically the faculty, and especially you students, what a great evening and what a great time in your life. To me, one of the most important times of my life. It's really when your education really begins, when you get an opportunity to step forward and use everything that you've learned. Yep, this is the real world you're getting out into, and there won't be a teacher looking or a prof looking over your shoulder. It's all up to you. It's got to be. If it's not going to happen. This evening I'm going to share with you a few of my accomplishments and basically some uplifting points that might kind of give you some ideas. I remember when I graduated from Northern Colorado University, I remember the psychologist that was our speaker, Dr. Murray Banks, and he taught us one thing, and it stuck with me my life, for my whole life. If you can remember one thing to learn how to cope, he said, if you learn how to cope, you'll be successful in life. I thought that was really interesting. How many years ago? It was only 64 years ago. So, when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a paper boy. And lo and behold, the Kansas City Star and Times recommended and required that that person be 12 years old. Well, after much discussion and many hours of negotiating, they finally let me have a newspaper. And what was interesting is after the first year, I've increased their circulation 20%. Then I took the competing newspaper, which was the Scion or Journal, and also delivered that. And then when I collected for the newspaper, in those days, nobody's old enough to remember, maybe some of your grandma and grandpas, but I sold Does soap and Ivory Flakes. And those were basically laundry detergents. And when they had their billfold out or their checkbook out, I just wanted to get a little bit more money so I could make a little more money. Then a really good idea came into my mind. I noticed that the milkman went to the same places that I went, and he was riding in a vehicle, not a bicycle. And he could put up with it, any kind of weather that there was. And in turn, basically, I negotiated with him, and $5 a day. He cut his delivery time about 40 minutes, and I cut my delivery time 1 hour. At that time, it was kind of interesting. My father had a doctorate of divinity, which is basically a minister, 7 years after high school. And I was making close to what he was, $250 a month, and he was making $400 a month. He did get a home to accommodate his children, but it was really interesting. Now the interest in, as far as I'm concerned, is running rapid in socialism. And you'll be confronted with a lot of that. And to me, I feel capitalism is a much better opportunity. Don't let society tell you what you have to do and what you have to be. I said, step out on your own. The window for a capitalist is very good. The window for an entrepreneur is incredible. And basically, the rest is up to you. When I moved to Sterling, Colorado from Kansas, I had to start another new business, and that's when I got into the yard care business. Immediately, I hired some additional people to work with me. We were successful enough that people would drive to wherever we were working, and they'd watch us work and how we took care of their yard. Everybody had a deal to do, and they got paid in relationship to how much work we got done that particular day. I had a 1950 Jimmy Dean Mercury, leaded, dual pipes, but the most important thing, I had a trailer with all the yard equipment. Basically, it really helped me. I can say this, once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. Immediately, I got involved in basically being successful in that area. During my career of work doing yards, there was one person that always hit me up every time I gave him the bill for our yard service, and that was Dr. Carl Collins. He moved from back east. He was a professor at Columbia, And after he lost his wife, he wanted to get a fresh start in Sterling, Colorado. Every time I did his yard, Paul, you're gonna go to college. He hit me every time. I said, Dr. Collins, I'm doing so much better than anybody else. Why should I have to go to college? And lo and behold, he hit on me every time. Needless to say, he ended up being my mentor. The smartest thing I ever did to go to college, because I don't care what your profession is, you need to have the tools to go out and be successful in the world today. After college, I became a banker, and it was very, very enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot. My first duty was with a bank in Inglewood, Colorado, and I was in charge of floor plan lending. Basically, I would take wholesalers and accommodate them and finance them for retailers. So what was really interesting, my first customer that I really messed up on, the company name was Carpetbaggers. And lo and behold, they were carpetbaggers. I loaned $140,000 in carpet that disappeared overnight. That particular day, my president found out that I lost the bank $140,000. He put a very, very nice note on my desk. Please come see me first thing in the morning. Oh, I was excited. Great night's sleep, maybe a few minutes. Anyhow, I wrote the most beautiful letter you've ever seen, resigning from the bank. And basically, when I went in the next morning, bright and early, I was actually early, and he was too. And he told me to have a chair. He took my letter and read it very, very slowly. Then he stood up, and he took that letter and just ripped it in two. He said, Paul, you're not leaving this corporation. I just spent $140,000 educating you. Do you think I liked him as a boss from that day on? Nice dude's shaking back here. I can actually feel it. Actually, one of the things that happens to me when you're in that particular profession, you get to deal with all different types of people, and you learn an awful lot. And basically, it was very, very educational for me, very educational. In banking, at that time, you have to do something unique that makes you stand apart from everybody else. And in Inglewood, Colorado, they were building what they said, and I think it was, the largest shopping center in the world, Cinderella City, 250 plus stores. And basically I had a real wild idea. I somehow, some way got to the guy in charge of the shopping center, and I got the name and address of all the stores going there. And for 2 years I traveled the whole United States getting their business. So when the Cinderella City actually opened up, guess what happened? 7 banks competing, we had 83% of the business. Were they happy with me? Yes, very, very happy with me. So much in turn that they promoted me to vice president. Actually, my years in banking were very, very gratifying, but at some time, when you help people most of your whole life be successful, you want to get on the other side of the desk or get on the other side of business, and basically that's what I ended up doing. All this time, though, I was always an athlete, and there's something athletics teaches you. And to me, I was a real good friend of Paul Anderson, the Olympic gold medal winner in 1960. That dates me. A wonderful person. He had an orphanage in Athens, Georgia. And basically, he saw me perform at one of the weightlifting meets, and he wanted me to travel with him. And whenever I could, he paid my way, and we went around the United States. I could do 2 or 3 things that nobody else could. Do a deadlift of 750 pounds and a straddle lift of 850 pounds. Why? Because I had a famous strong grandpa on the Swedish side, not Norwegian, Bob, on the Swedish side, and he was Big John, and Big John was my grandpa, and extremely strong, and Paul Anderson helped me a great deal throughout my life. One of the big things he did, he basically told me and showed me the importance of God in your life, he also taught me the importance of giving back. And giving back was a very, very important thing to him. And it was really, really, I learned a great deal from him because of that. At that time, I loved that sport. I was good. Mr. Colorado, Mr. Western UA, tons of titles and that. But unfortunately, bodybuilding enhancement drugs were coming into that business. I went to the 3 of the best doctors I knew, and they told me something very, very interesting. If you want to live a long, healthy life, I would not recommend using any of those drugs to enhance your strength and your ability to compete. So I didn't. So what did I do basically? I went from basically strength to speed and coordination. Handball, yes, here in this state, in this town, Kalispell, Montana. And it's been it was very, very good to me. One of the things that happens in handball is that it's so much different than weightlifting because it's all about speed and coordination. And I worked up they always said I had paddles because I have huge hands. But in turn, whenever I went to tournaments, I slowly got better and better. Started winning almost all the tournaments, and I won over 250 tournaments. And probably the most important one, I won the World Championship. And that particular race, it's on my desk at home. I'm not going to forget about it. So a few other things I want to mention to you. Things that you should do, I think, in your years ahead. Your attitude determines how you're going to do in life. And I think sometimes people don't really realize that. Whether you're in a committee and leadership or whatever it may be, your attitude determines your fate. Set aside an hour a day to read in your profession. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of time, but oh my goodness, has it helped me, and I know it will help each one of you students. And the other thing I think that's important, people often ask me, what would you do if you did something different? I would be more aggressive in my younger years of my life and follow my goals and my ambitions. A person that made a big impression on me wrote a book about 15 years ago, and it fit my style of living and leadership, and was Jim Collins. His book, Good to Great. And basically the substance of the book was that you got to get the right people on the bus and the wrong people off of the bus. I found something very, very interesting during the Collegiate National Basketball Championships. I was watching Virginia, Coach Bennett, his team warm up. Across their chest, it didn't say Virginia or University of Virginia. It didn't say Cavaliers. It said one word. It said family written out. And I said, what the heck does that have to do with basketball? But it made a big, big difference because he was the coach of the team that got beat the year before by a 16th seed in the first round. He actually took that team and won the national championship. He went from last to first. That doesn't happen very often in sports. The other interesting thing about him is that basically he got the right people on the bus, and the book explains it so well, and I always never forgot about that. When I changed the name of B&B Distributing, my beverage company, which I started back in 1981, a bunch of my employees and some of my management people were really, really upset with me. And they wouldn't buy into the program of changing that business to be called Fun Beverage Incorporated. And my slogan was, we distribute the good times. And we do. But in terms of what's really interesting is that in that process, basically, I had to do the same thing to get the right people on the bus and the wrong people off the bus. And each one of you that have been in sports, especially living in western Montana, you know how much time you spent on buses. So I got things turned around really, really quickly. And basically, articles were written. We even answered the phone, "This is fun." And basically, trade magazines wrote about Fun Beverage Incorporated. And to me, it was one of the smartest things I ever did. And I got the bad people off the bus and the good people on the bus. And when we once turned the corner, everything changed in our company. In our business career, there are a lot of things that make us successful. But one of the most important things, I think, is giving back. And I have done nothing in my life that's given me more satisfaction to be giving back to this particular community college. I think it's been absolutely terrific. And one of the things I always remember, and this will be interesting, when you give back, basically, everybody recognizes it. I remember ringing the bell for the Salvation Army because I'm on the board of directors, and the guy came up and says, "I saw your picture in the paper." And I said, "I hope you didn't see it at the post office." And he said, "Oh, I know. You gave us some money to the college." He said, "Quite a lot of money." He reached into his billfold and pulled out two $20 bills and said, "If you can give $4 million to the college, I sure can give $40 to the college." He said, "Why do they make those skillets so hard to put the greenbacks in?" I said, "Well, basically for you to stay longer." But it was great. One of my favorite Chinese proverbs is something that you're going to probably laugh at, but monkeys are superior to man in this way. When a monkey looks in the mirror, he sees a monkey. Now, what the hell does that have to do with graduation? But there are three forms of self, and this I think is very, very important. What you want people to think you are, number one. Number two, what you think you are, not important. Number three, what you really are, extremely important. That's why when the monkey looks in the mirror, he sees a monkey. I've interviewed people that I don't know where they're coming from, but they thought they needed to be everything else but the truth, and keep that in mind. I think that's a lesson you should remember forever. In closing, I want to touch upon a couple of things. I live a kind of a life, and I learned that at a young age, most of the most difficult things are where the challenges are. And those are the very things that change your life. And I call it the why not life. Basically, more adventurous, more opportunities, new personal challenges. Why not? And I've always lived that way. And I think that if you have that kind of choice, basically, you experience so many different things, and it's far more educational than anything that you've ever done. For my life, I've had a wonderful, wonderful trip, and I've enjoyed it very much because I was a why not person. And I want each one of you to consider that. It's not about money, it's about accomplishments and relationships. It's not about being lucky, it's about applying yourself. It's not about effort, it's about doing a total effort. The other thing, myself and the gratification that I've received in life has been very, very giving. To other people, seeing this happen has made me feel very, very good. Whether you're going to be a nurse, a welder, a computer tech, maybe a banker, an accountant, or whatever, maybe you're going to open a brand new business, be the best you can be. Become a no-limit person. And in the process, I think you'll say to yourself two simple words. Why not? Why not? I did it, and I'm glad I did, and you can too. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Will the candidates for the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Science, Associate of Applied Science, and certificates please stand? Dr. Carats, on behalf of the faculty and Flathead Valley Community College, I am pleased to present these candidates for the associate degrees and certificates.
By the virtue of the authority of the Board of Trustees of Flathead Valley Community College, by law and upon recommendation of the faculty, I confer the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Science, the Associate of Applied Science degrees and certificates upon those who have successfully completed all fields and the requirements indicated. Will the marshals please escort the graduates to the stage?
Emily Joyce Baker, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science with honors. Ashley Louise King, Associate of Arts with honors. Janelle Sarah Falk, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science with honors. Jesse Rhodes Roth, Associate of Arts. Kimberly Irene Fraunfelter, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science. Grace Joanne Caddy, Associate of Arts. Samantha Michelle Voles, Associate of Arts. Daisy Jane Janet Craig Johnson, Associate of Arts. Jackie Marie Dunkel, Associate of Arts with honors. Deborah K. Bradford, Associate of Arts, Associate of Arts Substance Abuse Counseling. Kurt Andrew Zygmunt, Associate of Applied Science, Brewing Science and Brewery Operations with honors. Stephen Scott Hines, Associate of Applied Science, Brewing Science and Brewery Operations with honors. Ryan Conway, Associate of Applied Science, Brewing Science and Brewery Operations. Martin Andrew Vollmer, Associate of Applied Science, Brewing Science and Brewery Operations. Gabriella Cameron, Associate of Applied Science, Brewing Science and Brewery Operations. Victor Riley Law, Associate of Applied Science, Paramedicine. Adam Paul Brinston, Certificate of Applied Science, Electrical Technology, Associate of Applied Science, Electronics Technician, Associate of Science with honors. Brian Wayne McCubbins, Associate of Applied Science, Electrical Technology with honors. Amanda Ray Payne, Associate of Arts. Peggy Keller, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration. Cheyenne Mason Apland, Associate of Science. Justin Minnie, Associate Applied Science, Natural Resources Conservation and Management with honors. Austin Dean Latter, Associate Applied Science, Natural Resources Conservation and Management with honors. Brent Andre Schwager, Associate Applied Science, Natural Resources Conservation and Management. Cassandra Bree Nelson, Certificate of Applied Science, Payroll Accounting. Vance Joseph Nelson, Associate Applied Science, Natural Resources Conservation and Management. Patrick James Sappington, Associate Applied Science, Information Technology, Associate of Applied Science, Web Technology with honors. Shelby Louise Green, Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology. Katie Jo Olson, Associate of Science with honors. Mary Catherine Stevens, Associate of Applied Science, Medical Coding. Tyler William Ross, Associate of Science with honors. Racer John Powell, Associate of Science. Letitia R. Selby, Associate of Applied Science, Healthcare Office Management. Marcus Tecca, Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology with honors. Miranda Louise Rhodes, Associate of Science. Maxwell William Scott McTaggart, Associate of Science with honors. Corey Ray Simonson, Associate of Applied Science, Small Business Management. Wesley Thomas Hilton, Associate of Applied Science, Small Business Management. Kayla Courier, Associate of Applied Science, Accounting Technology. Lynette Serrano, Associate of Applied Science, Accounting Technology. Tiga Riel Ward, Associate of Science. Daniel Vinogradov, Associate of Science. Franklin Thomas Merrill, Associate of Science with honors. Nicholas Anthony Hernandez, Associate of Arts with honors. Anthony Keith Woods, Associate of Science. Chance Aaron Maureen, Associate of Science with honors. Samantha Petra Robertson, Associate of Science. Chase Nicholas Skelton, Associate of Science. Rachel Marie Selhost, Associate of Science with honors. Jonathan Anthony Selhost, Associate of Science with honors. Molly Elise Smith, Associate of Science with Honors. Miranda Leanne Bragg, Associate of Science. Samuel Isaac Negron, Associate of Applied Science Surveying. Mitchell Martin Edgar, Associate of Applied Science Surveying. Sean Luke McQueen, Associate of Science. Carson Michael Baker, Associate of Arts with Honors. Tanner Christopher Karen, Associate of Applied Science. Wyatt Robert Charles McHenry, Associate of Applied Science, Industrial Machine Technology. Mallory Jo Sirkowski, Associate of Applied Science, Medical Assistant. Caitlin Marie Reynolds, Associate of Applied Science, Medical Assistant.
Burgundy Rose Monks, Associate of Applied Science, Medical Assistant with Honors. Teal Nicole Hanser, Associate of Science. Jacina Joy Dezal, Associate of Arts with Honors. Josiah Nathaniel May, Associate of Applied Science, Criminal Justice with Honors. Molly Beth Fisher, Associate of Science with Honors. Erin Lynn Slicener, Associate of Science. Aurelia Catherine Schreider, Associate of Arts. Whitney Lee Barr, Associate of Science. Kiara Ann Lake, Associate of Applied Science, Integrated Agriculture and Food Systems with Honors. Darian Marissa Enders, Associate of Science. Shante Almaria Christensen, Associate of Applied Science, Web Technology. Whitney Diane Hines, Associate of Applied Science, Graphic Design. Amber Nicole Nelson, Associate of Arts. Kiana Leora Chandler, Associate of Arts, Substance Abuse Counseling. Joel Foster Knox, Associate of Arts, Substance Abuse Counseling. Sarah Christine Powell, Associate of Applied Science, Graphic Design with Honors. Allison Marie Gagnon, Associate of Applied Science, Graphic Design. Susan Diana Waldron, Certificate of Applied Science, Graphic Design with Honors. Joshua Bradley Wortman, Associate of Applied Science, Industrial Machine Technology. Aaron Scott Frazee, Associate of Applied Science, Industrial Machine Technology.
Shania Allison Hay, Associate of Arts. Riley Michelle Finn, Certificate of Applied Science, Graphic Design. Mackenzie Rose Knut, Associate of Applied Science, Graphic Design. Rachel Nicole Namer, Associate of Arts with Honors. Dylan M. Foster, Associate of Arts. Taylor Nicole Putnam, Associate of Science with Honors. Kayleen Elizabeth Volkman, Associate of Science. Emily J. Scalen, Associate of Science with Honors. Joshua Philip Anderson, Associate of Applied Science, Welding and Inspection Technology. Julie Maureen Arnold, Associate of Applied Science, Welding and Inspection Technology. Jennifer M. Sauter, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education with Honors. Sabrina Elizabeth August, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education. Emily Carmen Kylo, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education with Honors. Kirsten Marie Berger, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education. John Clayton Thomas, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education with Honors. Haley Nicole Sidmore, Certificate of Applied Science, Welding and Fabrication Technology. Montana Sinclair Fountain, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education. Shay Matilda Reynolds, Associate of Applied Science, Early Childhood Education with Honors.
Annika May Wagner, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science. Alyssa Hope Nelson, Associate of Arts with Honors. Brian Thomas Zip, Associate of Arts. Isabel Joy Bennett, Associate of Science with Honors. Desiree Diana Hastings, Associate of Arts with Honors. Michael J. Renke, Associate of Science. Corlin Danae Tollerson, Associate of Arts. Andrew Michael Walling, Associate of Arts. Lauren Cassandra Kuhn, Associate of Arts. Sky T. Latham, Associate of Arts. Tyrell J. Miller, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science with honors. Miranda Lynn Roy, Associate of Arts. Tiffany L. S. Hennessy, Associate of Arts. Diana Lynn Perry, Associate of Arts. Haley Rye Coe, Associate of Science. Grace Ann Gamboa, Associate of Science. Douglas David Morse, Associate of Science. Togera Timothy Christian, Certificate of Technical Studies, Heavy Equipment Operator with honors.
Daniel Nicholas Kramer, Associate of Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Kay Renee Hollander, Associate of Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Hannah Marie Cardinal, Associate of Applied Science, Radiologic Technology with honors. Jake Jonathan Barstow, Associate of Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Scott Anthony Wiley, Associate of Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Edward Richard Trimba II, Associate of Applied Science, Radiologic Technology. Austin Cade Leach, Associate of Applied Science, Criminal Justice. Kirsten K. Wantia, Associate of Janina Lynn Hobday, Associate of Science with honors. Johan Abel Rosales, Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Jacob Allen Byrne, Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Yi Katerina P. Kajiluk, Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Leanne Michelle Catron, Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology with honors. Samantha K. Riley, Associate of Arts. Samuel Nicholas Riley, Associate of Science, Nursing. Sadie Ann Harris, Associate of Science, Nursing. Timothy Vernon Dick Jr., Associates in Heating, Ventilation, and Air Conditioning. Kyrie Denise Sweeney, Associate of Applied Science, Accounting Technology.
Carissa Delora Christensen, Associate of Science, Nursing. Bill R. Tanner, Associate of Science, Nursing with honors. Jacob Lee Hardman, Associate of Science, Nursing with honors. Heidi Jo Schmid, Associate of Science, Nursing. Gavin Scott Garza, Associate of Science, Nursing. Lindsay M. Bicknell, Associate of Science, Nursing with honors. Stephanie Corella Cowden, Associate of Science, Nursing. Jessie May Sager, Associate of Science, Nursing. Eric John Hofseth, Associate of Science, Nursing with honors.
Congratulations, graduating class of 2019. And thank you, parents, family, and friends, for your support and attendance today. Would you please remain in your seats until the marshals have escorted our faculty, staff, and graduates from the tent. Thank you again for attending FVCC's 51st graduation ceremony.